Welcome to Muffed. What a year. This is the Bills 2025 season in review. Muffed! The Bills finished 12-5, won a wild card thriller in Jacksonville, and watched their season end in overtime in Denver, 33-30 on a chip shot field goal after a fifth turnover of the night. That's the whole 2025 Bills season in one breath. A team that could score with anybody, played like a Super Bowl contender for stretches, then handed games away in the moments that decided their year. They started 4-0 as the last undefeated team in football, got tripped up by the Patriots in Week 5, lost the AFC East for the first time since 2019 on a 1-point home loss to the Eagles in Week 17, and ran out of road in the divisional round. Josh Allen was Josh Allen. James Cook led the NFL in rushing. The defense ran hot and cold around a wave of injuries. A great regular season that ended the way too many of these Bills seasons end, close, painful, short of the goal. By the time the dust settled, Sean McDermott was out after 9 years. Let's set the stage with the numbers. Buffalo averaged 28.1 points a game and gave up 21.5, a plus 6.6 scoring margin that puts you firmly in the contender tier. The offense generated plus 86.8 expected points added through the air and plus 57.5 on the ground. Expected points added being the all-in measure of how much each play moved the needle towards scoring, and that rushing number landed in the 100th percentile, the best run game value in football. They converted 47% of their third downs, top 10 in the league, and ripped off 77 explosive plays of 20-plus yards, nearly 4.5 per game. But the boom or bust check tells on them. This team hung 40-plus 4 times and also got held to 14, 13, 19, and 12 in their losses. When the offense rolled, it rolled. When it stalled, it really stalled. Now let's talk about the passing offense. Buffalo averaged 234 yards a game and finished plus 86.8 in passing. Expected points added, 81st percentile league-wide, with Allen's completion percentage over expected at plus 2.9, meaning he completed roughly 3% more passes than an average quarterback on the same throws. This wasn't a volume passing game, it was efficiency and explosives built on a 2.8-second average time to throw and 77 chunk plays. Allen was the engine, 3,668 yards, 25 passing touchdowns, 10 interceptions, plus 14 rushing scores, the most by any quarterback in the league. What defined the attack was the spread the wealth structure, with Khalil Shakir leading the team at 72 catches for 719 yards. The variance showed up at the worst times, 18 offensive turnovers and a 12-point Week 17 loss to the Eagles that cost them the division. Smashed in the box score, muffed when it mattered most. Now let's dig into the rushing offense. This is where Buffalo was elite, 161 rushing yards a game, 30 rushing touchdowns, and that plus 57.5 in rushing expected points added, first in the league. Per carry, they averaged plus 0.11 expected points added on the ground, a genuinely dominant per play number. James Cook was the headliner, 1,621 yards on 309 carries, 12 rushing touchdowns, plus 709 rush yards over expected on the season, and plus 1.17 yards over expected every time he touched it. Cook was also the offense's steadying force, explosive runs of 64, 45, and 44 yards across 3 different games. And when Buffalo needed to grind out the Week 13 dismantling of the Steelers, the ground game was the reason. Add Allen's 579 rushing yards and 14 scores on quarterback runs, and you've got the single most consistent thing this team did all year. Next up, the pass defense. Coordinator Bobby Babbich's group finished at minus 57.4 in passing expected points added allowed, and remember, on defense, a big negative is the good kind, landing in the 78th percentile league-wide. They allowed 170 passing yards a game. The second half passing yards allowed was the lowest in football, and the secondary delivered back-breaking moments. Christian Benford took a Joe Burrow throw 63 yards for a pick 6 in the Week 14 win over the Bengals. The issue was takeaway volume, just 20 on the year, 1.2 a game, and a 41% third down conversion rate allowed that sat in the bottom third of the league. High ceiling, huge plays, but they couldn't get off the field on third down consistently enough. Against good quarterbacks, that mattered. In the run defense, this is where the Bills got muffed. Buffalo gave up 136 rushing yards a game, 4.1 yards a carry, 24 rushing touchdowns, and finished at plus 41.9 in rushing expected points added allowed. And against the run, a positive number that big means you were getting gashed. That landed in the 6th percentile, 6th at Oliver's midseason injury after a hot start, 3 sacks in 3 games, tore the heart out of the front. Terrell Bernard missed time at Mike linebacker, and the run fits suffered all year. This was a consistent weakness, not a bad day weakness. Opponents lean into the run because it worked. In any conversation about why this Bills team didn't get to a Super Bowl starts with the fact that they couldn't stop anyone on the ground.
Muffed. Season MVP is Josh Allen, and it's not particularly close. 25 passing touchdowns, 14 rushing touchdowns, 39 total scores, and plus 71.3 in passing expected points added while carrying the offense through every injury wave around him. The thing they have to fix is the run defense, plus 41.9 in rushing expected points added, allowed 6th percentile in the league, 4.1 yards a carry, 24 rushing touchdowns surrendered. That's a contender killing number, and it was the through line of every loss that mattered.
That's the Bills 2025 season. 2 things before you go. 1, if you want this every week when the season kicks off, subscribe to the Bills feed wherever you're listening. 2, if you want the same treatment for your fantasy roster, head to muff.ai and we'll build you a custom weekly show.
That's the wrap.